What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about the top 10 most heavily shorted EV stocks in the market as of right now. So I want to go over all the things that you need to know, but first make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. And so just so you are all aware, I did take a look at all these. Tesla, Li, Rivian, everyone and their dog that is on this list. I kind of looked at the short interest as long as they were on a major US exchange, not including OTC, because OTC is a little bit gray for that. So again, this top 10 list is completely everything here. So with that said, let's get right to stock number 10, and that is Polestar, sitting at $1.10. Over the last 6 months, it is up 45%, so recovering fairly well. And then over the last 1 year, though, it is down 36.78%. As of right now, 9.65% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 36.92 million shares overall are being shorted. Utilization 94.72, and then short score, so the higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening, is sitting at 86.39. So when it comes down to this list, that isn't a indication that these are squeeze stocks. Of course, I think you need a good catalyst in order for any stock to really kind of push higher. But if you want to look at that short score, usually that's kind of a good indication, the higher the number of a potential foundation for a squeeze. Just you need a good catalyst. So again, just wanted to kind of explain that. But generally, shorts have started to increase a little bit. So it went from roughly around 8.9% short interest to where it is now. There's a lot of other good information up top here that I won't really be going over, but good to look at DTC. So again, the higher the number, higher the potential squeeze that could happen. As of right now, though, you do see roughly around 1.9 million shares available to be shorted. And the reason why I bring that up, in some cases, if there's limited supply, you could see some buying coming from big entities such as BlackRock, Vanguard, and whatever else, as they like to buy it just to lend out. So again, I wanted to bring that up, but nonetheless, Polestar is stock number 10. Moving on to stock number 9, Hyliion, ticker HYLN, sitting at $2.12. And on a side note, they do have their earnings coming up on the 25th after hours. And generally over the last 1 year, it is doing fairly well, up 50.35. Over the last 6 months, still green, up 15.22. But 10.79% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 12.94 million shares overall are being shorted. Utilization 26.49. Then short score is 64.55. And then DTC is roughly 9.6, so fairly high for that. And shorts haven't really been doing all that much, as you can kind of see, hovering around that 10 to 12% range. So yeah, let me know your viewpoint on that. So this is stock number 9. Moving on to stock number 8. This is NIO, so sitting at $4.44 over the last 1 year, down 26%. Over the last 6 months, though, up 19.35. 11.65% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 155.56 million shares overall are being shorted. Short score 77.47, and shorts generally haven't been doing all that much. They've been kind of slowly increasing, but still no crazy moves in either direction, as you can kind of see. Through IBKR does indicate roughly around 650,000 shares available to be shorted. So this is stock number 8. And moving on to stock number 7, you have Phoenix Motors, ticker PEV, sitting at 40 cents. So this one has been hit quite hard over the last 1 year, down 67.94. Over the last 5 days, though, it definitely is gaining some pretty good traction, as it looks like it's glitching right now, but you can kind of see it went from roughly 25 cents to around 50 cents. So a nice kind of growth for that. Earnings doesn't look like they have anything planned. It's only estimated right now, and that's for the end of March. But 17.99% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 2.78 million shares overall are being shorted. Short score 81.88. And then through IBKR does indicate roughly around 15,000 shares available to be shorted. So you could see some corresponding buying coming from big money as they want to take advantage of that juicy cost to borrow, which is currently roughly around that 70 70.08, so fairly high. That is a annual rate, not a daily rate, on a side note. Moving on to, I think I've lost count where we are. I think it's stock number 6, and that is Rivian. So sitting at 1403, they do have their earnings coming up, and so that is on the 20th. This is a current estimate, so feel free to pause it and read through it. Over the last 1 year though, it is down 9.72%, and then over the last 6 months it is up 5.89. Currently, 18.8% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 139.88 million shares overall are being shorted. Shorts recently did return, as you can kind of see, insinuating they might be somewhat fearful about their upcoming earnings. Again, something to kind of keep in mind, but short score 75.03, and then through IBKR it does indicate roughly around 4.7 million shares available to be shorted. So you won't see any buying coming from big money as they take advantage, but cost to borrow is very cheap for Rivian, so that's only sitting at 0.45. So again, very, very small stuff. And then moving on to stock number 5, I believe, and that is Lucid, sitting at $3.31. Over the last 1 year, it is down 4.06%. And then over the last 6 months, it is up 5.75%. They have their earnings slated for the 25th. So this is the current estimates for that. But 20.2% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 240.72 million shares overall are being shorted. Short score 72.91. Shorts oddly haven't been doing all that much in the past. They've been fairly active, but lately they've been slowly returning. So maybe insinuating similarly that maybe Rivian or even Lucid will be on their earnings. Typically Lucid and Rivian kind of trade together sometimes post earnings, but through IBKR, it does indicate in excess of 10 million shares. So you won't be seeing any buying or anything like that. So again, something to kind of keep in mind. Moving on to stock number 4, you have Mullen sitting at 20 cents. I do believe there was a reverse stock split or something like that. So February the 18th, a 1 for 60. So that's going to change the actual share price come tomorrow. But over the last 1 year, it is down 99.97%. Didn't think that is even possible. But over the last 6 months, even that aspect, it's down 99.47. Through Ortex, it does show 20.92% of the free float is being shorted. So with that said, any one of these stocks that I've talked on, if you feel dilution is occurring behind the scenes, then this number right here, that 20.92, will be incorrect, because all that is a formula. And so if they are diluting, so that means a higher outstanding share count, that number will be lower. So again, sometimes some stocks have and are diluting. They just don't update people through SEC forums in a timely manner. So again, something to kind of keep in mind. But 10.23 million shares overall are being shorted. And then through IBKR, it does indicate roughly around 100 available shares. Cost to borrow is 64.48. But again, with them doing a reverse stock split, that'll change all of that, the dynamic of that. So let me know your viewpoint on that. Moving on to stock number 3, you do have Workhorse sitting at 58 cents. Over the last 1 year, down 88.1%. And then over the last 6 months, it is down 47.5%. Through here, 23.12% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 8.66 million shares. Utilization is 67.63. Short score 78.94. Then through IBKR does indicate roughly around 100,000 shares available to be shorted. So this is stock number 3. Moving on to stock number 2. Nikola sitting at 54 cents, another stock that is massively struggling. A lot of bankruptcy fears, and or I think that proceedings may have already started as well. So this one might be knocked down soon to OTC, but over the last 1 year, down 97.45, and then over the last 6 months, down 92.98%. So absolutely crazy downtrend, but 30.05% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 25.31 million shares. Overall are being shorted. Through IBKR does indicate 150,000 shares is available to be shorted. So again, stock number 2. And then moving on to stock number 1, you have Faraday Future sitting at $1.60 over the last 1 year, down 79.17%. And then over the last 6 months, as you can kind of see if it'll load, and it doesn't look like it wants to load. But aside from that, 40.7% of the free float is being shorted. Does work out to be 17.8 million shares overall are being shorted. Short score 76.36, and then through IBKR does indicate roughly around 1.3 million shares. Shorts have definitely started to increase quite a lot with this stock, as you can kind of see. So low end of roughly 16%, so they've definitely started to double down. I cover Faraday under my other YouTube channel, Trending Stocks, and this stock does have a lot of convertible debt notes, more specifically, and then as well, so does, I believe, a couple of other top 4 ones, a lot of convertible debt. So yeah, let me know your viewpoint on these stocks. Do you own any of them? Do you think any of the stocks I did bring up are squeeze plays? And if so, what do you think the catalyst will be to really prompt a push higher? So let me know your viewpoint on that. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then pop over to my Discord, completely free. A lot of good people, a lot of good chat. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.